Pause up, pause up. Pause up. Hands up. Pause up. That's an alien. Fourth. So yesterday morning was May 1st, and then I had the out-of-body experience, true out-of-body experience from Joel yesterday morning. I haven't posted it yet, but today, May 2nd, I had some good ones this morning. And then a couple days ago, Joel puts me in my grandma's house again on Lombard Street, and I haven't posted that yet. I think that was on Friday morning, I think. But, so here's another experience where I was basically started off at my grandma's house, but it was totally a different house, different rooms and everything. It wasn't like in real life. And so it was me, my mom, my sister, and then later the veterinarian walked in. But in the scenario, instead of being a vet, he was like a regular doctor. That vet that came to my house that neutered Simba. And so basically it was kind of like my grandma already had died and everything, just like that last scenario on Friday. She had already died. I know, I'm sick of these damn experiences where it's like she's, I want her to be in the scenario. Well, I'll ask Joel to put her in my scenarios, and he will, because I've had plenty where she's in my scenarios. But lately, she's not in my scenario because Joel creates it where, she's already dead and everything. So she's not in my scenario. So here was another one where she, in the scenario, started off, it's like we were about to buy it and move in, like me, my sister, and mom. And like I said, my grandma wasn't in the scenario because she was already deceased. So then we basically just started off in a pretty large bedroom. And then there were two other rooms off to the side. And anyway, so I'll get to that in a minute. So it was me, my mom, and my sister. And we were going around observing, the big bedroom. We started off in the big bedroom. And in real life, she did have that bigger bedroom that she always stayed in, and then the other two kind of smaller rooms. So in the scenario, like we were walking around and we were looking at things and deciding like, what do we want? Do we want that lamp or blah, 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 blah? Who wants this? Who wants that? And at first I wanted the big bedroom. I wanted that to be my room. And then later on in the scenario, I decided, no, that's okay. I'll let, my sister have that bedroom, because I went off into the other two, and her bedroom had the bathroom, because I remember seeing the bathroom, and in real life, her big bedroom had the half bath. And so in the scenario, Joe kind of made that similar. And so, because at first I wanted the big bedroom, and then I told my mom, I was like, no, that's okay. Because after I saw the other bedroom, which was smaller, there was another, and that had some things in it. It had a bed and all that in it. And then there was another room just right there beside it, and that would have been part of, that bedroom. So, and that bedroom was pretty much empty. And I decided I wanted that smaller bedroom because it was kind of more secluded. And I I ended up getting two bedrooms, because that other one, for whatever reason, was part of that bedroom. So I actually had two rooms. So I told my sister, you could go ahead and have the big bedroom. I'll go ahead and take these two smaller rooms. And like I say, one of them was empty. The one that led to the one at the corner of the house, and that was the one that I wanted. And then I realized that other bedroom was also going to be mine. And so I designated those as my bedrooms that I was going to move into. Because like I say, in the scenario, it was like we were all going to move in to my grandma's house since she already died and everything. Just me, my mom, and my sister. My stepdad and my brother was in the scenario. Okay, and then there was some parts where I was walking around observing things, tables, and the stuff she had on the tables. And one of the things she had on the table was kind of odd. It almost seemed like it could have been like a jewelry tree. I think that's what it's called, like a necklace tree, a jewelry tree. And it also, I think Joe was trying to make it look like a lamp or something, but it wasn't a lamp. But the funny thing is, I've never seen anything like that in my life. And in the scenario, it was like something that she always had, and it was something familiar. In the scenario, Joe made me think it was familiar, and it was something common. And then, after I woke up, I'm like, I've never seen that thing in my life. But anyway, so it was like about 2 feet tall, or maybe not quite 2 feet tall. And then it had a big round thing, kind of like a halo. And it wasn't a lamp, but it kind of gave off light, and it also was kind of like a fan. It kind of was multi-purpose. It served like 3 functions. And in the scenario, I remember thinking it's kind of like a lava lamp, but it really wasn't. But that part was kind of funny. And then I told my sister and my mom that I wanted that. And there was a bunch of other knickknacks and stuff like that they were deciding what they wanted. And that room was fairly, it was probably 50% empty. I mean, there's still a bunch of stuff in there. But it was probably about 50% empty and 50% full of her stuff. Because as far as I remember, there was still the bed in there, and then just a whole bunch of knickknacks and tables and stuff. And but some parts of the room, it was a pretty large room. Some parts of the room were kind of empty. And so it was like it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And now I realize it almost seemed kind of like it could have been like a jewelry tree. And I think Joel could have maybe somewhat been copying off of some of the jewelry trees that I got from my aunt after she died. I have a couple of those in this house. But like I say, in the scenario, it was kind of like was a fan, and then it kind of lit up as well. And then it did a couple other things too. Like it glowed, and I told him that I wanted that. But it was just kind of funny because after I woke up, it was nothing that I've ever seen before in my life. But in the scenario, it was very common. It was very familiar in the scenario. Okay, so then, for whatever reason, it was like, no, I'm not, it wasn't clear exactly. I'm not, I mean, I guess for our jobs, but my mom in real life, in real life, didn't ever really have a job or whatever, but in the scenario, it was kind of like, for our jobs, whatever jobs we did, we kind of had to get a physical. And the doctor had to come to our house, the vet guy. In real life, he was the vet guy in the scenario, but in the scenario, he was a doctor, a regular doctor, and not a vet. And in the scenario, it was kind of like that's why he had to come to our house, because he knew we were defiant, me and my mom. Especially me and my mom. Like, I don't remember my sister, like being defiant or anything. It was just mainly me and my mom about doing certain things or whatever. Taking blood draws, blah, 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 blah. So that's why he came to our house. I mean, came to the house, my grandma's house, which we were about to buy it and everything. And he ended up like, boom, after we went around the house, not the house, after we went around the 3 bedrooms and I decided what I wanted and blah, 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 blah. And after my mom and my sister decided what they wanted, then, like I say, the veterinarian appeared, but in the scenario, he was a regular doctor. And he was like, yeah, I heard you guys were defiant and blah, 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 blah. And he proceeded to do some things, like normal things, like check your heart and stuff like that to my mom or whatever. And he had that little thing in his hand that looked like a tackle box that had medical stuff in it or whatever. And that's what he came in this house in real life, like a tackle box looking thing. He brought into the house to neuter Simba. And then he came over to me and was opening up his medical box. And he was and we both like sat on the bed. And it was a pretty big bed too. In real life she had a twin bed, but in the scenario it almost seemed like a queen bed or a king bed. So we proceeded to sit on the bed, and then he opened up his medical box. And he was just kind of like, yeah, I had to come to you. I had to come to you guys because I heard you guys were defiant, and you only wanted to do or have me do certain things. So it was kind of funny. He did do a couple like inappropriate things, and even in the scenario, I was thinking that's kind of inappropriate. It's kind of funny. It wasn't like real sexual, but it was kind of sexual. And so then I was like, aren't you gonna like listen to my heart, And he's like, oh no, I don't got to do that. And he basically wasn't really doing anything. He wasn't really gonna do anything other than just like look at us, I guess. But the only other thing he did was he took out a needle, and then that's when I was like, oh no, I already told you I'm allergic to all that, needles and shit like that. And so I like totally took his arm and like brushed it away or whatever, but he had already nicked me with the needle. And I looked down at it and I remember seeing a little bit of blood. And I remember thinking, shit, he accidentally poked me a little bit. And then I remember thinking, I hope I don't have reactions later and blah, 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 blah. Because, there's chemicals on the end of those needles, and that's what I reacted to in real life. Like when I had my food allergy blood draw. Like I didn't know I was getting over about a multiple chemical sensitivity, and then, I didn't realize you still couldn't get all sorts of fucking chemicals in your fucking system. How the fuck was I supposed to know? And then that motherfucker put slather rubbing fucking alcohol all over my fucking arm. And then the fucking needle has chemicals at the end of those motherfuckers. And that's what gave me a severe fucking case of multiple chemical sensitivity. And that was almost 2 August ago. And I'm still not fucking over it. But I'm 80% better. I am 80% better, but I am not 100% better. And so I don't know if it's ever really gonna like go the fuck away, But and two, when you get gluten by gluten, that I noticed back 3 years ago when I got gluten by those Walmart chips, it kind of brought out the multiple chemical sensitivity. And then let's see, yeah. But anyway, these other 2 times I got gluten, I think my body already healed up real good, so I don't think it like bothered me really, really, really bad. Well, I don't know. I'm still trying to monitor all my symptoms and shit. And the smells and stuff. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? Yeah, nobody knows what it's like unless you have it. It is the most bizarre condition. And it's basically just, if you already have weak adrenal glands, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, and you keep fucking that up, your pituitary gland, adrenals, whatever, and you keep getting yourself exposed to chemicals, then it totally rewires your brain to suck in all those chemicals, to be allergic to them, to where your body reacts physically. It's very bizarre. The limbic system has something to do with it. Being toxic has nothing fucking to do with it. So all you dumbasses that think again, that has nothing to do with it. Now, in some people, it might have something to do with it, but in most people, it does not. Believe you me, I'm nowhere, I have no chemicals in my body whatsoever. I am not toxic. All I eat is pure shit. And I drink no chlorine, no fluoride, or anything like that. But it's a limbic system issue. There's a lot of fucking quacks out there, especially the natural doctors. Big fucking quacks. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, so Joe was just trying to copy that off my real life, situation. And, yeah, so basically, yeah, he actually accidentally like nicked me a little bit after I pushed the needle away. And then I was just kind of like, yeah, and that's when I just started arguing with him. And I said, I told you I was allergic to that, and blah, 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 blah. And then that's when, he was like, oh yeah, I knew you were defiant, blah, 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 blah. And then I was just I thought it was kind of odd that he wouldn't check my heart out and everything. Now, he did check Simba's heart out, you know what I mean? When he came here, he did check his little heart out and everything. And I asked him if it sounded okay. Well, just because, like, I've seen Simba, I don't know, like, he, like pants real hard sometime. And it's like, I don't know if that's normal or not. But he said his heart sounded good and everything. So Joel was just trying to copy that for the scenario, except he made him say, like, oh, no, I don't got to do that, blah, 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 blah. But basically, he didn't do much, but it was just kind of funny. And I can't remember exactly what he did to my mom, but I know he, he didn't check my heart, but I think he did check her heart and maybe did a couple other things. But yeah, it was a fun scenario. Okay, and then it went on to another scenario that was kind of weird, but it was still fun. It felt like I was in a different dimension. Even this scenario felt like I was in a different dimension. And the second scenario, it just went off. It was just kind of weird. And I've already forgotten probably a lot now, but it was just me and my mom, and I didn't know where the heck we were at. Finally, I asked her, I'm like, where are we? And I was in like a gas station, the little waiting area where you go up, or where you pay right there. There was like, it looked like plexiglass or something. And the cashier was behind that. And we were in this little empty area, lobby or whatever you call it, the small little area. And I was like, I didn't know where I was at. And we were in a strange neighborhood, it seemed like. I think we were down on Glenstone Street somewhere. But in the scenario, it was definitely different. It totally felt like a different dimension. But we were down Glenstone somewhere, and it felt like kind of like a strange neighborhood. And I finally asked my mom, where are we? And she said, we're at a gas station. And then I looked out the window, and then I saw, like, up there, I saw a sign that said, like, BPI or something like that. BPI or something. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's one of the normal gas stations, one of the normal mainstream gas stations. And it's like, it was kind of weird because we were at a gas station, but it's like my mom, we were just standing there. It was my mom was doing stuff pertaining to like what you would do at a bank. And I was doing, it was kind of funny because nothing what we were doing had anything to do with buying gas or anything. And I was like standing up at the, ledge, or the, there, I guess there's kind of like a windowsill or whatever. And I was eating like a muffin or something. I was eating, and then she was up at that female cashier. She was trying to cash a check or something. And then, like I say, we were standing there forever and ever doing whatever. A scenario lasted quite a while, even though I can talk about it in a couple minutes. And like I say, you know, it was just kind of funny because nothing what we were doing had anything to do with buying gas or anything. So that was just kind of funny. But anyway, but the first one was really, really fun. But anyway, like I said, that vet, he did a couple inappropriate things. And it wasn't medical things, but he did a couple inappropriate things. And it was just kind of funny because in the scenario, I was like thinking, isn't that kind of inappropriate? You know, I was thinking that when he was doing the inappropriate things. But anyway, it's kind of fun anyway. Both of them were kind of fun. Thanks for listening.